Hi, welcome back to Grade 8 Math. We're still continuing on in Chapter 10 and looking at angle problems. And so we're looking now at algebraic angles. We just looked over a couple of rules with angles. So we started off with our basic one. So let's just review our um, complementary angle rule. We also learned straight angle or supplementary angle rule. And then we learned opposite angles are equal. And then we learned our transversal rule. So then we learned that f angles are equal or corresponding angles are equal. We learned that alternate angles are equal, which are z angles. And then the last one we learned is that triangle equals 180 degrees. And then we're just going to move on to a couple of other ones afterward when we're looking at different polygons. But let's start with the triangle. And so let's look at this one. So we have three angles here where the angles are represented by an algebraic expression. So this angle, for example, is 3x minus 45. This angle is x plus 15. And this angle here is 2x minus 60. Because we're not given any more information, we have to use one of our rules, and the one that we have readily available is a triangle. Angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So in this case, we have a triangle. So let's just find the algebraic sum of all the angles. So what we'll do is we'll add up all three of them. And the way I'll do this, I'll just put it in brackets so that we can see all three angles. So the first angle is 3x minus 45. We'll add that to x plus 15, which is the second angle. And then we'll add the third angle, which is 2x minus 60, and that's equal to 180 degrees. So this is how we problem solve. What we're doing is we're using information that we're given, and we use one of the rules to see if they kind of fit together. And so now I'm problem solving by putting those together, and now let's just use some of the strategies we may have learned in the past. So when we have variables together, and when we have numbers together, the first thing we could do is to group them together. So let's just highlight a couple of them. So I have highlight yellow all of my x values, or the ones that have x's with them, and then in blue I'll highlight all my numbers. So let's just take a look at both of these. So let's start off with my yellows, or my x's. So I have 3x plus an x plus a 2x, which makes a total of, and I'll just write this down over here, 6x. So that's the combination of the yellows. Now let's look at the blue. I have negative 45 or minus 45 plus 15 and then minus 60. Well, if I go step by step, minus 45 plus 15 is minus 30, and then minus 60 is minus 90. So this is a good review on some integer operations. So please review that if you need to with a separate video. And then the sum of all three of those angles is 180. I'll continue on, and so now this is solving for a variable x, and we learned this last year in grade 7. Also, we'll just review in grade 8 that you put all the x values on one side and you put all your number values on the other side. So in order to balance off the left side, I need to add 90 to balance this. And then on the other side, because I added 90, I need to add 90 on the other side as well. So minus 90 plus 90 cancels out and makes 0. So I'm left with 6x, and then that's equal to 180 plus, 180 plus 90 is 270. And then what I do is I divide this side by 6. So I'll divide the other side by 6, just so it balances out. These cancel out. 6 divided by 6 is 1x, and so that's just the same as x. And 270 divided by 6, let me just pull up the calculator because I think it's 45, yep. So it's 45 degrees is x. Well, that doesn't really give me the angles, it gives me what the value of x is. So then now we need to actually put this number back into these angles to find out what these three angles are. So let's just label this A, B, C. So let's start with angle A. Angle A was 3x minus 45. So I replace x with 45, so 3 times 45 minus 45. So 3 times 45 is 135, minus 45 is 90. And angle B is x plus 15. I'll replace x with 45 plus 15 makes 60. And then angle C is 2x minus 60. And so that's 2 times 45 minus 60. 2 times 45 is 90 minus 60 is 30 degrees. And so let's just check to make sure that these three angles are possible. Well, do the angles look like it? So does angle A look like a 90-degree angle? Well, it kind of does. Does angle B look like a 60-degree angle? And it does, and angle C looks like a 30-degree angle. Also, how can I check is by looking at the sum of all three of these. So what I'll do is I'll take this, plus this, plus this. So I'll add all three of these together and see if that equals 180 degrees. So 90 plus 60 is 150, plus 30 is 180 degrees. So let's just review what we did. We found out that the sum of the angles in the triangle is 180 degrees, so I made sure that I knew that. The second one is I rewrote the equation now with all three of the angles being added together to find that answer. And I solved for variable x, so then I combined all my like terms, I combined all my x's, and then I combined all my non-variables, I combined all my constants. And then I solved for the variable x. So then using a little bit of inspection here, I found out x to be 45 degrees. Then I need to find out each angle by putting it back into the original expressions for each of the angles. And then I just check my work to make sure that it matches question A, which was that triangle equaled 180 degrees. As we learned back in class, there's the next one. Rule 7 is that any parallelogram, or any quadrilateral, I should say, parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, or any four-angled or four-sided polygon has the total interior angles sum of 360 degrees. So that is the last one. So if I had, let's say, a trapezoid or parallelogram, its interior angles are 360 degrees because it really is the combination of two triangles as we learned in grade 7. Great, so if you didn't understand this, please review the lesson, and hopefully you understood this lesson.